talking on management strategies of shrimp farming post-COVID scenario, from human to humans food. Two different thing I want to talk. So, Rupam, next. Can you change the slide, Rupam? Yeah, thank you. So it is very clear that because few days back when I was preparing this presentation, so I just wrote this, that if soon we find a cure, nothing much gonna change in this world. But if not, everything is going to be a very big change. And after listening to Dr. Sunit, it is very clear that at least 2-3 years we have to live with COVID and with utmost biosecurity, we can say. Next. Next slide, please. So before going to the amid COVID and post-COVID scenario, I would like to, one slide previous, you have gone 2 slides ahead. So let me make a background that people, those who are new to this subject, they should understand what is shrimp farming in India. So if you really see the Indian scenario, we know that before 2009, it was all monodon, and India started with monodon. So black tiger was our mainstay from last 30-35 years, and it has ruled the shrimp farming arena for almost 25 years. Then actually, the scientific shrimp farming has started after the establishment of Tuspark and Ospark hatcheries in 1988 to give the disease-free seeds to the farmers. And after that, you can see India has grown very good as a monodon country, and our Indian shrimp name became like black tiger Indian shrimp. So late 90s, the major setback as we talk about disease. So major setback came to our shrimp farming in early 90s, 93, 94, the deadly disease called white spot. And when you see, when we talk about white spot, it has completely, like today, how we are completely locked down. The shrimp farming became completely locked down during 95 to almost 2000. And after that came a lot of other diseases like Vibrio, the loose shell syndrome, and many things. So shrimp farming has never grown more than 70 to 80,000 tons all over the India, almost for a decade. Then to support the sector, because there was a new species which has early, we can say 2005, it has become very famous in the Asia Pacific region called Vanami. And to support the sector, our Indian government, after proper guidelines, they have introduced Vanami in 2009. Next slide, please. Now, when we talk about COVID and the effect on shrimp farming, we should also understand what was the achievement of India pre-COVID. I'm very proud to share that if you see the data, up to 2009, Indian shrimp production was fluctuating around 70 to 80,000 tons. But if you see, when there was an introduction of Vanami in 2009, and now when I'm talking to you, the data of 2019, you can see within 10 years, India has emerged the #1 shrimp producer in the world and #1 exporter in the world. So you can see shrimp scenario in 2009, we became one of the top shrimp producers in the world with 8 lakh ton shrimp production and 38,000 crore rupees of shrimp export. And our seed production crossed almost 75 billion, and feed production is 1.8 million ton. Next slide, please. Then you can see, when we talk about shrimp farming basically seed, feed, processing, and exports. These are the 3 main things. So we talk about now hatchery scenario, how it has affected hatchery. Because if you talk about shrimp farming season, the main season all over India starts from mid-February and it lasts up to September. So seed production, already the hatchery has geared up because last year, 2019, already 75 billion seeds were produced in hatchery. And the season was gearing up because India entire management, and after also the formation of new department and ministry, actually the Blue Revolution scheme and everything. So everybody was geared up to cross more than 1 million ton shrimp production. So the hatcheries everywhere were geared up to supply the seed from February, March, and in Andhra Pradesh, you know, almost the season is 24/7. But when we talk about Gujarat season starts from mid-February, and the seeding, first crop seeding lasts up to mid-April, and then the harvesting starts from June and July. So already in January, because the lockdown started in our India in March 22. So already January broodstock, whichever imported, was well up to the mark, and the hatchery started production. And few seeds were started distributing all across the country. But in Gujarat, we have started receiving seed only in the last week of February. And then suddenly on 22nd March, when the entire nationwide curfew and the lockdown came, so entire road transport, rail transport, plus the air transport was completely stopped, and giving us a sudden lockdown even to the seed supply. And you can see from the March end, almost 4 billion seed, even in Andhra Pradesh, has to be discarded, has to be drained. Because it took almost 2 weeks for even to government to categorize shrimp farming and fisheries under essential commodity. So even the road transport and everything was halt, even in Andhra Pradesh. So most of the hatcheries has to drain the seed. Second important thing, what happened in lockdown and amid COVID, the labor shortage and social obligation. There was a big fear psychosis. Even the laborers, because you know, aquaculture is very labor intense, whether it's a hatchery or there's a feed mill or it's a processing or it's a farm. Every section of this aquaculture shrimp farming requires very good amount of labor. So the labor shortage plus the social obligation, because we were into the all rural areas, in the coastal areas. So there was a quite big fear about the local people were not allowing their villagers to go and work in the factory or hatcheries or in the feed mill or even the farm. So there was a very big shortage, and also because our complete dependency of our total 8 lakh ton is in the foreign market. And looking into the China and US scenario, even the farmers were very uncertain whether to go for the crop or not. So this was the hatchery scenario. Next. So shrimp feed scenario, same again, I'm telling you, because shrimp has a shelf life of 3 to 4 months. But if you see the total shrimp production in India in 2019 were 1.8 million ton. And because of the already pre-COVID, because of the shortage of supply and the import duties, taxes, the feed prices are already risen up by 10%. Means almost 7-8 rupees prices were high pre-COVID. And then suddenly to these factories, when the peak season was there, raw material availability and mobilization has become a very big problem, because there was no truck movement, there was no transportation and no communication. Even those international companies, those who have a collaboration with our Indian partners, see 5 to 7% of their micronutrients or the formula has to come from the foreign countries. So that also has come to an halt. So again, it's a very crucial aspect was labor. Without labor going to the factories, no feed and factory can be produced and packed. So again, they very, very hugely affected because of shortage of laborers and the labor mobilization, and even the raw material movement from the factories to the finished feed from factory to the food. And also the factory has very difficulty facing in initial first 30 days of the raw material mobilization. Next. Next slide. Now we come to the shrimp farming scenario. Now going to the shrimp farming scenario, now we have to understand the total shrimp farming area in India is almost 2 lakh hectares. The scientific shrimp farming is close to 1,60,000 and another 40,000 is still the traditional or the low stocking module of West Bengal. So you can see the total number of farmers are also 2 lakh hectares is almost 85,000 to 1 lakh shrimp farmers. Shrimp farming success also, you can say pre-COVID 2019, though we are the #1 producers in the world, the shrimp farming success is 55%. And the biggest drawback of our shrimp farming is that our total dependency is on foreign market, a very, very negligible domestic market. And what happens, you can see in Andhra Pradesh, when there was a major lockdown from March, there was a very big panicky among the farmers, and they couldn't hold the stocks. Also because the crop were ready to harvest, and also there were some disease occurrence in a white spot. So the farmers couldn't wait till on the pond, and the factories were shut down, even the ice plants were not working. So many farmers have lost their standing crop. They have to literally throw away the crop on the roads, and there was no takers because there was no access to the local market. So much produce cannot be consumed within that periphery of the market. So many have lost. 50% of the farmers then have decided not to go because of the fear. So you can imagine in March already, when the peak of stocking was already there, and in these 50 days, most of the farmers, they have not planned to stock, or because there are those Andhra Pradesh, you know, paddy farmers became fish farmers became the tiger monodon farmers, and they only converted to Vanami. So still some farmers, those who have a facility to switch back to fish, they have gone back to fish farming. Next slide, please. And now you can see in this slide, when we talk about 8 lakh ton shrimp production in our country, you can see the 71% is Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh still commands 5,70,000 tons of production, and followed by West Bengal. Till second number was up to 2016-17, Gujarat was almost the #2 position. But then last 3 years, West Bengal really gained, they took over. Now West Bengal is producing close to 80,000-85,000 tons of shrimp. So you can see then followed by Odisha, 60,000 tons, then Gujarat, 45,000-50,000 tons, then Tamil Nadu and others, somewhere about 20,000 to 30,000 tons. So still you can see the major shareholder, 70% of the shrimp which is produced in Andhra Pradesh. Next slide, please. Shrimp processing. Now you know how much you produce, we have to export, and the biggest intermediate state between the farmers and the foreign market is our processors. So if you see the processing scenario, it is also very proud for us that Seafood Export Association, one of the very strongest shrimp processing association in the world. And if you see the numbers, we are very well equipped to process maybe 20-30 lakh tons of shrimp. If you see 620 processors and processing plants are installed with a capacity of 33,500 tons to be processed per day. They can handle almost 35,000 tons metric ton per day. And out of that, almost 50%, 50-60% processing plants are very modern and certified with all certifications and EU approved. So world-class seafood shrimp processing plants we have. And India also have plus 650 cold storage plant which can given time can hold shrimp up to 4 lakh ton. So overall, if you see the India total export houses, cold stores, registered exporters, altogether are almost 1,500. And in 2009, India has exported a shrimp quantity-wise 6,35,000 ton and a value of 38,000 crore rupees. And in COVID lockdown, what seriously affected the processing is the immediate shutdown, the curfew. And the administration took, even up to the collector, they took almost two weeks to understand the shrimp farming is an essential commodity, or the fish and shrimp processing into essential commodity, and it is a labor oriented, and they need to take permission and all lab thing, government formalities. So 15-20 days, nothing operated. Almost Mumbai, I think that it took almost 35-40 days for the processors to get the approval to start with the social distancing norms. So you can say even processing didn't work, the ice plant didn't work, the truck movements, everything. So you can imagine there was no processing took place almost for one and a half months. And because also, because one processing plant requires, if they have to handle 40 to 50 tons of shrimp per day, they need 300 to 400 laborers, in-house laborers to work. And because of the shortage of the laborers and the fear among the laborers of a disease transmission, many of them didn't come to the work. So that was the biggest limitation. And uncertainty also. Many processors were not buying because if you see the market, when I'm going to the next slide, if you see the market, the entire produced, which we produce in India, is dependent upon mostly two major markets. One is US and China. Next slide, please. You can see the export scenario. You can see whatever we produce in India, 8 lakh ton, out of when we process, when we lost some head and other quantity. So the final quantity which were exported was 6,35,000 ton. You can see USA holds the major share. USA is the biggest market for us. Almost 46% of our produce goes to US. And very surprisingly, the China became our biggest second market in last 4 years. China can take from 10 gram shrimp to 100 gram shrimp. Any size, any shape, any variety, China welcomes it. And you can see EU 10%, follow 46, 30 China and 10% Europe. Europe up to 2013 and 14 was almost 30-35% of used to buy from India. But because of strict food safety norms and farm and BAP and non-use of chemicals, a lot of containers started getting screening and detection. So EU market has subsidizedly gone down. But you can see UAE and Japan is also contributes a small 7%. When we talk about processors and their mindset, imagine when 70%, including USA and China, our 70% market came under severe cloud because of the infection. Everybody knows that the COVID-19 birthplace was Wuhan in China, and finally USA was on a very, very receiving end. It has devastated the market in USA. Next slide, please. Now, when we talk about shrimp farming, I already briefed you the background about shrimp farming in India and the situation from farming to hatchery to feed mill to processing. Now, what can be the strategies? How the other segments can work in this post-COVID scenario? So there are some suggestions of mine on how we can build up the strategies. Hatchery and seed production we can start with, because this is the first, seed is the first thing in shrimp farming culture. So Department of Fisheries, Government of India, then I think the broodstock import, because if you see 63,000 numbers of broodstocks were imported in 2019 to produce 75 billion seeds. So this year already the hatchery, entire 500 hatcheries what we have, they already planned to import more than this season for almost 75,000 brooders. And if you see the data of import, already up to January, February, almost 60,000 broodstock are already, I think half of that are already reached. And that broodstocks were sufficient up to the mid-April. But suddenly when the air service, air connectivity has completely stopped, it was a big question that for the supply of April and May, because there was no quarantine facilities, nothing was working, the international flights, the schedule, the connection, the booking, everything came into a halt. So it was a big question whether India will receive the broodstock in time or not for the April, May and June season. So then in the strategy, we should also think that India should have and allow broodstock companies to establish broodstock BMC in India and operate. Still, there are few about the permission, but 90% of our broodstocks are still imported. So India needs a BMC, in-house BMC, so there will be a hassle-free supply of broodstock, and there will be a continuous broodstock supply. And need of the hour, what India needs, because now I'm talking in a CIFE webinar, so all scientists are there, all young, those students who are into research. The need of the hour for the hatchery section in India is the supply of the polychaete, the live worms, the bloodworm, because they affect largely on the gonadic, the maturation and the fecundity, the animal health, everything. So the broodstock needs live food. And most of the live food in India, the polychaete worms are supplied from the wild catch. Imagine the whole goodness of the whole good thing about importing a disease-free broodstock can be contaminated horizontally by feeding the infected larvae, the polychaete worms. So the need of the hour is to have a SPF breeding program of polychaete worm. That is what will help our hatchery section. Then I'm coming back to the second one, the feed production. Now you see, when I briefed you about feed production, if you see in last 35 years, the only thing constant in shrimp is the seed price. If you see, I'm doing shrimp farming from 1994-95. That time also, the tiger seed, the monodon seed was average 45-50 paisa. Now also, when I'm largely all over India, in Andhra is 30-35 paisa. But see the feed cost. The feed, first time I used in Gujarat, costed me 36-37 rupees. Now today, the same feed with the same nutrition is costing me almost 95 rupees. See the feed price gone up because the component, the fish meal, the quality of fish meal in India is not at par which has been imported. We have almost import duties of 10% on shrimp, fish meal. Plus, we are not allowed to use soya, which is GMO. These are little limitations. So government should also think to exempt the import duties on fish meal or the ingredients which are imported. Because what's the point when the feed we have earlier, before GST, the feed was exempted in VAT. Now today, the feed still has only, in the imported fees, has 5% duty. So we should abolish all the duty, the government of India, to make the feed cost effective to the farmers. Then also we should have in-house some research-based farming on edible insects to replace the fish meal. Because there are a lot of other foreign countries that try many other things to replace the fish meal. Even the soya, you can see all foreign countries, they use GMO soya, but it is not permitted in our country. So at least only for the use of shrimp farming, which is completely based on exports, where other countries are permitted to use GMO and their cost of production is very cost effective and efficient than our Indian production. So GMO and the other duties should be completely waived off by the government. That should be on the priority. Then improvement in logistic and feed mobilization. This is a very important, because if you see India, we have 30 states and one state itself is like a big country. So 90%, now what 95% of the feed is produced in east coast of the country, mostly in Andhra Pradesh. Gujarat, we have only one feed mill in operation and one feed mill is ready to maybe another 2-3 months it will be fully operated. So Gujarat, we have only one Avanti feed mill which produces almost supports 20-30,000 tons of our Gujarat consumption. So for us in Gujarat, when we try to transport the feed from Andhra Pradesh, 3.5 rupees per kilo is only the transport cost. And if you see that the distribution channels, because most of the farmers, they are below 5 hectare individual holding, if you see. But I'll give you a very good example on this because I very frequently visits to Ecuador. In Ecuador, minimum, the smallest farmer is nothing less than 200 hectare. And the biggest farmer even goes up to 5,000, 6,000, 12,000 hectare. But in India, if you see, we have 2 lakh hectares divided by almost a lakh of farmer. So individually, it hardly comes to only 2 hectares. So 2 hectare farmer cannot even buy a complete truck of feed. So he has to depend upon multi-layer of feed marketing. Creating because the feed cost is only 70 rupees, but the MRP comes to 95 rupees. So 25 rupees per kilo is actually goes through the distribution channel and all. But for us, like big farmer like us, now we have 100 pond, 200 pond, we directly buy from the company at the rate of 70, 75 rupees. So even India government should think about feed logistic and feed mobilization state-wise, and it will definitely help the farmers. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Hello. Hello, Rupam. Hello.
Yeah,
Now,
this is the next slide. This is the next slide.
Thank you.
Change it.
Rupam, I'm clearly audible?
Yeah, audible.
Thank you, Rupam.
Yeah.
So coming to the shrimp farming, now if you see the shrimp farming, I will talk to you about Gujarat. Now Gujarat, our season starts from March and goes up to October. So the seeding season starts from March, April, May. And then harvesting starts from June, July, August. So literally the material is only available for 4 to 5 months. And the processors and the industry has to work year around. So farmers should also take care and understand that the industry needs 12 months to work. Only we cannot work for the 4 or 5 months. And that's where because we are not into a proper organized section, and the cost increases. Because a processing plant in Gujarat, when he receives this material only for 4 months, and next 8 months he has to keep idle, so the cost piled up. He cannot afford to give you a better price. So the farmers, I request farmers and urge them to have a crop rotation phase-wise. For example, what I do, I have almost 200 ponds to work. So I go with phase-wise. I stock in February 50, March 50, then another 100 ponds. So I have a complete rotation. 8 months my farm runs. Then those ponds which were stocked in the February, they get harvested in June, July. So again I stock in the month of August. So like this rotation, phase rotation. I don't want to go 200 ponds together and then harvest the material in the June, July, making it a complete bottleneck. Imagine Gujarat produces 50,000 tons of shrimp, and if it is only harvested in 100 days, what is going to be the rule of demand and supply? There will be so much shrimp on the floor that the market rate automatically goes down. And again, I'm repeating, India, we have all, whether it's a Gujarat or Maharashtra or Karnataka, Goa, or it is in Andhra, every shrimp in India, largely 95% depends upon the foreign markets, on the export market. So the need of the hour is domestic market. Because here I'm always insist on domestic market because I believe that India has 136 crore population. Imagine 50% of them definitely are non-vegetarian. They consume only 1 kilo in a year. So this 8 lakh ton can be consumed in India itself. That is what we need. And then farmer, now because since I'm telling you, I'm talking to a research and education system. So imagine our dependency. Entire shrimp farming, it's 8 lakh ton. Now monodon is no more. Even to see as a sample also, nobody is growing monodon in our country now. So there is no black tiger shrimp from India. It is now only Bangladesh. If you see, I strongly believe as a farmer that single species dependency is not good for anybody. It's not good. It's not a long-term option. We should think, government should think, the research wing should think that we should go revive back our indicas. We can also try our monoceras. There is a very big scope about now all female scampi, Microbacterium rosenbergi. So we should have at least multi-species farming system so we can cater to the all segment of the world market. And then come to the fourth shrimp processing that, the biggest hurdle to me in last 27 years, what I see as a farmer, because if shrimp farming business of this 40,000 crore rupees, a single thing. So the farmers and the processors are the two opposite sides of the same running coin. If one side is, bolte na khota sikka ho gaya to sikka nahi chalega. If one side is bad, the coin will not run. So farmers and processor has to sit together to solve their differences. Here in to be very straightforward, I will tell you, farmers think the processors are making group, they are making the forming cartel and not offering the proper price. Farmers on the processor on the other side thinking farmers are not adopting the best management practices. They indiscriminately use antibiotics which affect their exports. They find heavy rejections into their exports. So all these talks. So anybody who is listening to me, almost I can see 404 participants are listening to me. Have you ever heard a joint seminar between farmers and processors? Last 25 years, I'm into this system. There is never a joint meeting. There can be webinars or the seminars of processors and individual, the farmers, but there is no joint meeting. So I urge to the industry, this is the right time that farmers and processors should sit on the same table, solve their differences, and come out with a very good program which will benefit mutually. Otherwise it will be a very, very, very difficult thing. And then we'll talk about value addition. Priority should be on value addition. For today's scenario, I will tell you, I was just preparing this morning a note for CII because I'm also a member on Confederation of Indian Industries. So how to double the exports? Because in Blue Revolution program, we thought that the 50,000 crore exports should be doubled to 100 crore. But those people who are listening to me from the processing section, because I will tell you 8 lakh ton shrimp which has been produced in India, out of that 6,35,000 ton is exported in almost head-on, headless PD, PDTO form. So almost it's a raw form we supply. So other countries reprocess it, add value and sell. But if you take the average price of our per kg shrimp exported to the foreign countries is $6 to $7 only. And then you value add that product in India itself, the price will go $10 to $12 for the same product. So we don't need 5-year, 10-year program to double our exports to 1 lakh crores. It can be done within 2-3 years, where provided we start doing value addition to our country. No, I know it's a difficult process. We need to have that infrastructure and all. But that is the only way out to get a better price for the industry, better price realization for the end farmers. Because today, when I talk about that farmer is producing 8 lakh ton, but are farmers earning? Has their margin increased? I'm very sorry to say no. Because when in Gujarat, when Manoj Sharma was having 12 ponds, 13 ponds, and the entire Gujarat was only producing 3,000 tons of shrimp monodon, our profit margin was almost 150%. And today in Vanami, though Gujarat is producing 50,000 ton and India is producing 8 lakh ton, our profit margin has come down to only 30%. And in the livestock business, when you have a margin of only 25 to 30%, it's not worth risking. Because if out of 5 pond, if 1 or 2 pond you lose the whole crop, your profitability comes to minus. That is where I say the priority, the skill development program, even I'm saying CIFE, education, more stress can be given on value addition, the skill program development, such trainings can be given. And again, opening of domestic market. If you imagine, as I said, we have 136 crore. If 50% also consumed, 8 lakh ton can be consumed now in India. So processors will get an year-round market to work, because this processing house can be effectively utilized for supplying to the domestic market also. Rupam, next slide. Rupam, next slide.
Yeah.
So my suggestion to now, since we talk about seed, feed, farms and processing, also there are some suggestions and planning for the government of India. Now I will tell you, Vanami was introduced to India after very good study, very good rules, regulations and everything done. Even Coastal Aquaculture Authority came to functioning and it has helped a lot. But today, practically what I have seen, that as I already said, we have lakh ponds. And 2 lakh ponds with an average farming less than 3 to 5 hectare, it is becoming impossible for a central agency to give them license and renew the license in the stipulated time. Now, when I'm talking to you on today, on this date, already Gujarat or other state, even Maharashtra, has not seen a renewal of license from last 10 years. So I appeal to government, to the new ministry, that once license has been renewed and approved by CAA, that renewal system and renewal mechanism has to be only given to state specific department, fisheries department, because it is easy for them to do that. So the renewal process will be very fast, because if we imagine the total number of staff working in Coastal Aquaculture Authority in Chennai, and I think not more than even 15, 20 people, and they cannot handle this 2 lakh ponds, complete examination, audit, giving them license and renewing every 5 years. So this is a very important point, where today all the import and export depends upon the license and the new renewed license. So for the pre-harvest test and all. So this has become very mandatory for each and everybody to have a license in time. And second thing, very important for the government to understand, during the VAT, the major feed, the inputs to the farm, fish and shrimp were exempted. But since some chemicals, for example, this is a very, very important point I want to tell to the government, that there should be, now when we talk about shrimp farming, you know that the deadly disease of white spot, it has engulfed the entire industry from 1995 to 2000. So the standard operating protocol, the biosecurity protocol has come up. Use of disinfectant, especially the bleaching powder, became the mainstay in treating the water. So the bleaching powder use has become very, very part of the protocol, part of the process of shrimp farming. Now suddenly 18% GST. So the face value of the product has increased. So we see anything which is add-on, extra seed, feed, medicine, which is anything extra to the farmer. Small farmers will not tend to use it. So I request the government, so there should be exemption on the biosecurity products which have been used to save the shrimps. Because if you put extra 18% duty on that, farmer will compromise it, they will not use, and the disease will come to the farming, and there will be a big loss, and the farmer will also use a lot of antibiotics to treat that shrimps. So this is actually not a good sign for the shrimp, where our 95% shrimp is dependent upon the foreign exports, where they have very tedious food safety norms. So my immediate appeal to the government that there should be all these biosecurity products which have been used at the farm should be exempted from the taxes. And also the third very important point, the uniform national power tariff policy should be there in aquaculture. Now very few people, those who are not into culture, might not be knowing, but today Andhra Pradesh per unit is only 1.5 rupees. Orissa, I think again same 1.5. Maharashtra must be 3 rupees. But you see Gujarat, 8 rupees. So when in Andhra Pradesh, shrimp is produced for the energy cost at only 12 rupees, and Gujarat has to spend 45 rupees for the fuel and energy cost per kg shrimp, you imagine the farmers are going to lose. So there should be, because now whenever we approach the government, they say it's a state specific policy. But since we have now a new ministry, new separate department, the power tariff to fish and shrimp farming should be uniform all over India. So we can have a uniform cost of production, which can be 10% up and down, depend upon the state availability and all. But power is continuous, because when we produce scientific aquaculture, we need to run pumps, we need to run aerator 24/7. So power is a very big second after feed and seed. Power is the third most important component of the cost of production. Then then I think years and ages we are talking about aquaculture should get agriculture status and all benefit at par. But so far it has not happened. So since now I'm very hopeful, and now this new government, it is first time in the history that 20,000 crore package has been given to fisheries. So I think if that leniency they shows and even give the status to agriculture status to aquaculture, it will be very helpful. It will be very helpful. Because since I was student CIFE 1991 to now 2020, we talk about National Bank, NABARD and all. But I'm very sorry to say, not even 5% of the section has been sponsored by financial institute. If you will be surprised to listen to this statement that I don't know about Andhra Pradesh, but I'm very sure whether it's Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, West Bengal, 80% of this sector runs on the self-finance. It is on the mercy of the dealers and distributors because they stop giving credit, the wheel will come to an halt. Not even, again I'm repeating, not even 5 to 10% sector is being financed through financial institutes. So this is a very, very pity thing because farmers, they don't get financial support. And I also request that, all the old subsidy schemes, because if you see it's running from 30 years, 10,000, 20,000 per hectare, some feed input subsidy, some waiver on this purchase, that purchase. Even though the government is spending so huge amount, 200, 300 crore, every state receives the central funds to allocate subsidies to the individual, but that effect doesn't come. For a single farmer, if 1 hectare development, he has to invest, that's where I'm saying in shrimp farming, there is no poor shrimp farmer. Even for the 1 hectare, he has to invest 10 to 12 lakh rupees for the capital cost. And if he produces 5,000 kilo shrimp, 5 ton shrimp per pond, he needs a money recurring cost 15 lakh. So you imagine a farmer who spends 12 lakh for capital and 15 lakh for producing a shrimp of 5 ton, it doesn't require 20,000, 30,000 subsidy. But still that subsidy goes to many such people, and that infrastructure and then lack of other things comes to no use. So what I urge that this 200, 300 crore, the government and state government should rather use for the infrastructure, common infrastructure development for the entire industry, and it will be very helpful. So I urge to all the state fisheries department that they should abolish all the unwanted small subsidy schemes and rather use that money into a scheme which can be used as a common platform for the entire state aquaculture benefit. And government, here again I'm repeating the same thing because this is the need of the hour. When we talk about COVID, this 40, 45, 50 days, if another 2-3 years, if there is no treatment to this thing, I think the social distancing norm will completely kill the industry, especially the horeca, the hotel, the restaurant, the cafeteria. When we talk about the world produces 45 lakh tons of shrimp, and India contributes almost 20% to that. 8 lakh ton India produces, and out of that 75% goes to this horeca, hotel, restaurant and cafeteria. And another 2-3 years, I don't think people and that this business is going to come. Already, that even I have started a very optimistic, my project called Jhingalala, which I started because I'm a believer. From last 5 years, I'm single-handedly fighting in Gujarat that we should develop a domestic market on common platform. But now if you see, I'm in the hotel group already. 50 to 60% of this Surat restaurant or the Indian restaurant, maybe they'll go out of the business because they cannot run with this minimum crowd of social distancing norm. So there will be a new norm is going to come on that online, like Zomato, Swiggy, or the online retail market is going to go. So I urge the government, because if you see, I will tell you a few figures that India has at MIES and DPP scheme. So whatever shrimp is exported from India, the processors get the duty drawback, the export incentive schemes. and to a tune of 5 to 7%. So imagine 40,000 crore rupees worth shrimp exported, and 28 to 3,200 crore rupees is given back to the system as an incentive. So I am urging and appealing to the government, why not something like the National Egg Coordinating Committee, Sunday hoya, Monday rose khai ande. This one slogan, imagine, this one slogan has changed the fate and the fortune of the poultry industry in our country. So when already Indian government and the fisheries department spending thousands and thousands of crore rupees as an incentive and the subsidy scheme, why they cannot rope in any good superstar like Amitabh Bachchan and any famous cricketer like Sachin or Kohli and give them one or two packet in their hand and give a fantastic slogan. So I will tell you, there will be a sea change in the domestic market consumption. They can explain all the nutritional fact. They can explain each and everything goodness about eating shrimp over the other things. Even I am telling you, why not institutional buying? Why Indian government is not thinking about buying shrimps and fishes for the defense? Why only chicken and mutton? Even you will be surprised, even in our parliament canteen, there is no fish and the shrimp dishes. So this is the very right time for the government giving such a surplus stimulus and package. Why not defense can become our biggest buyer? Because shrimp is one of the best. They have all fat soluble and water soluble vitamins, minerals, protein, one of the very good cholesterol. So this is the right time that Indian government should think about investing into the domestic market. Next slide. Rupam, next slide. So, since hello, yeah, Rupam, you were saying something?
No, this is the next slide.
Yeah. So this is my final slide and my suggestions because today, whatever I am and I have reached this level of achievement, I'm very thankful to CIFE because CIFE has shaped me. And today I'm very proud that, because of CIFE, I could come to Gujarat with this degree. And today from zero, we have established a business of 2,500 crore rupees. So I'm a firm believer that research and education is the backbone of any industrial development business in our country or wherever in the world. So but now we even education system and the research system also has to see some changes, because lab to land and land to lab research should be on priority, because most of the work that happens into lab doesn't reach to the farm, and what is required at the farm that doesn't reach back to the lab. So this is because a lot of my sirs and the faculty of CIFE, they are listening. Maybe out of this 351, 400 participants, much are the researchers. So my request is that lab to land program and land to lab program should be on priority. And aquaculture is a highly commercial and a professional in nature. Needs intense academic education and practical on-site training. Definitely, we need to revamp our syllabus, our education system to mostly, it should be made suitable. The academic education and the practical, both should be hand to hand. Without academic, you cannot do practical, and without practical, you cannot become a perfect to work on a farming system. So I urge, because Director Saab is listening and everybody is listening. So it is a time that education and the syllabus should be updated and revamped to the suitability of the industry. And there should also be a collaboration with education institute and industry. Because it is if you don't collaborate the education research to the industry, the transfer of the latest trend and knowledge will be restricted. So I again urge to most of the research institutes, education system, that they should have an MOU, they should have a collaboration with all industry, so they can have the transfer of latest knowledge. Like if I remember a few years back, our director has done Industry Institute Interfacia, a seminar, and it was the very right thing to do. So today I also urge that this has to be prioritized in education system, because On a note as CIFE, because a lot of CIFE students are listening to me, imagine if you see last 10 years or 15 years of student data, alumni, how many of them are working on the farm in the production system? Because many wants to go on the research. Definitely, research is definitely a backbone. But if imagine, if everybody, 90% of UP students will only go towards education and research, then what is going to happen to the production sector? Because when in our India, I'm very sorry to say that farmers are considered at the lowest level of the pyramid, and in the exporters are kept on the top. But I believe if farmer fails, the entire system fails. If farmer don't produce, processors will not get the shrimp. Processors, the farmer don't produce, there will be no market to the feed. If farmers fail, there will be no seed takers. So it is all interlinked, interdependent. Farmer fails, so entire industry fails. So we have to remember that imagine, I feel very proud that I'm a CIFE alumni, a CIFE student, and I call myself as a CIFE soldier. Today, when we talk about safety, we have military, paramilitary. When we talk about nutritional safety, I think farmers are nothing less than a soldier, those who provide food to the mankind. If Manoj, I'm not a superman or a superhero, I'm also a student like you, but I came in such an era and work hard, and it was God wish and God blessing today, whatever I am. But what I feel now at the age now today, I'm 50, but what I feel, if one CIFE student can come to Gujarat and work hard to establish a 2,500 crore industry, imagine if another 10, 20 Manoj Sharma could come out of this young education system, they can change the whole fate of this country. That is what I need. Next Rupam. So those who young students, just to motivate them, you can see this is my farm, 125 acre. Like this, I have another 3 different sites, but this is completely best aquaculture certified. Next. You can see a very good quality Vanami is produced at our farm. Next. You can see the quality of, this is almost like 45, 50 gram. Even NFDB chairman, she visited my farm, and you can see I have my own probiotic formulation, which are manufactured in France. So one of the partner, you can see Jax. Our Guruji, CIFE Reddy sir, you can see. And then previous slide. Hello. Rupam, you can go back to the slide. There was one Jingalala slide. Previous one. Yes, one more previous. Yeah, you can see this is a restaurant. This is a new concept. Rupam, can you stay on that, please?
This is no,
Jingalala. This one.
This is Jingalala.
You can see this is the Jingalala concept, because Jinga, is a prawn, and Lala in Surat is called people. So Jingalala concept, I came at the domestic market. This was the first outlet, and this is the first PESCO vegetarian registered outlet, maybe in the world, where they serve only farm exclusive produce shrimp only. Next slide, you can see some recipes. You can see some dishes. Next slide, please, Rupam. You can see the varieties. We are almost the traditional. We have engineered more than 70-75% of the regional cuisines, and 30% international and oriental. So almost I have more than 52 dishes in this restaurant. And I strongly believe if India post-COVID has to see a very good industry development in shrimp farming, shrimp domestic market should be the biggest priority, even for the farmers, even for the government. Even on this closing note, I will say I have in this COVID, I have already registered a company, a non-profit company called APPA, Aquaculture Produce Promotion Agency. And I'm going to, after post-COVID, all the farmers all over India, we will come together and we will raise fund. Even 2 lakh farmers, 2 lakh pond, even give 1,000 So 20 crore money can be gathered to promote and spread the awareness of farm-raised shrimp consumption. And I think it will definitely help. And Rupam, last slide, please. So, as you know, on a positive note, I believe that aquaculture has the potential to feed the mankind. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Manoj Sharma, you have said, but I would like that your comments on something else, which is like right now, Government of India has given a package of 20,000 crores for the fisheries sector,
Yes,
for
sir.
the development.
Yes, sir.
Possibly few things need to be emphasized or focused in this, so that the post-COVID or maybe in the time to come, the sector grows very fast.
Yes, sir.
The second thing is that you have said that we have to bring academicians, processors, and different type of entrepreneurs
Yes,
on the same table.
Yes, sir.
And you have really said that there are few things which need to be focused by the institutions,
Yes, sir.
because they cannot grow in isolation. They cannot develop a technology which people might not need it. So unless there is a close contact and close collaboration and close association between these, it is not true. There are multi-focused or multi-specialized areas where you need something and then we need something. We have to work together, because and one more thing which I don't know whether you have said it. It is like looking at species diversification.
Yes, sir.
Because you have seen the sector for the last 15, 20 or 25 years, when
Yes,
it started and now it is at this particular time. Few things might change, and definitely after this, these things will certainly change. So there has to be certain species, certain something which the farmers look into, and they can see that there is the scope in this, because they have to see that what are the profits. We have to see that what are the biodiversity. We have to see that what is the market, what is the linkages between different areas. So unless these things are coming together, unless these things are forming a value chain, people will not get the advantage. And we never think, or rather we should never think that the farmers is at the lowest of the pyramid, because unless he produces, nothing will come up.
True.
So our all profits, our all development, our all nutritional security, our everything depends upon them. So they are the basic unit of the development. So unless they are targeted, perhaps growth, development, and then prosperity and everything cannot happen. And of course, domestic consumption has to be the area which need to be focused. Yes. So I will congratulate you, and I am really happy that you have done a wonderful job, and we are proud of you, and think that such type of things will happen again and again, so that our youngsters are getting the inspiration and the advantage from you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's okay. It's always pleasure to be part of CIFE team, sir.
Yes. Dr. Saab.
Any other questions?
Dr. Manoj, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is always inspiring to hear from your story from Jhinga to Jhingalala.
Thank you, sir.
So, so always inspiring to the students as well. Now I want to inform you that our participants are going down and down, because the cyclone has made a landfall at Sundarban, West Bengal. So the viewers from West Bengal and Odisha, they are unable to getting connection.
No problem.
So there's almost more than hundreds.
No, we can share them our file to them. No problem.
Yeah. So that is a problem. Then in the meantime, beside the question from panelists, we can take some from our rest of the audience. In the meantime, you can see the question answer and you can give one by one. If you will see that the question answer, 17 questions are there, very good questions are there. In between, we will project some of the audience poll, that also some questions that needs to be discussed. Before that, these are some audience polls are there. The participants can give their opinion about the questions. One question I want to ask, that what you told that just before the stocking, about something 65 or 70,000 brood stock have been imported, and they are not going for feed productions. Then what is about the fate of that brood stocks?
No. see, whatever broodstock has been imported, hardly they go for 7 to 8 spawning, and after that they have to be discarded.
Okay.
You cannot have a continuous spawning of that.
Okay.
So the broodstock which were imported in the month of January, February, I said it will maximum last for April and May. And there is a restriction because it's an exotic species, banani. It's an SPF. It has to come from the parental company to Delhi airport and go to quarantine, and they will all OIE listed, they will test, and then they will give it to the hatchery.
Okay.
So all this process has completely held up because of the lockdown. So if there is already when I'm talking to you, the seed price has gone by 20 paisa because the hatchery is not able to produce maintain the broodstock, and also the nutrition to the broodstock has been restricted because of the supply restrictions on the live ones. So the biggest area of working in future is the breeding farm for the polychaetes. That's a very good area where somebody can think of producing.
One more thing.
Before we take the next question, I just want to announce that we have shared the link for certificate and feedback form. All the participants, please click on that link that we gave in the chat box. That is a feedback form. Then automatically certificate will be sent to your email ID. Yeah, now Dr. Sundarai.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for elaborate present. This is the second time I'm hearing you post-COVID. First of all, Orissa and West Bengal is severely damaged by the Amphan, and look into West Bengal situation is getting worse in the evening. I have two questions. Manoj, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. See, you have been talking about domestic market, and looking at this 20,000 crore, I'm a little bit confused. Last year there was an announcement about fisheries infrastructure development for around 8,000 crore, and this time February they announced Prime Minister Matsya Sampad the Yojana at 15,000 crore. So is it 20,000 crore beyond this, or it all include this? You might be knowing a little bit more about this particular. And if this 20,000 crore is coming for sector development, what is the proportionate we are getting for exclusive for the domestic purpose, domestic marketing, or for the brackish water aquaculture? So I think you might be getting my question. This is
actually the detail of this 20,000 crore project has not yet received by the Secretary of the Fishery Department level. But as an outline, what I understood listening to the Finance Minister, that this 20,000 crore package will come in a split of 5 years. Means this year only 4,000 crore.
Okay.
But if you see the calculation, Jitendra,
India
last year in 2019 has produced close to 50,000 crore exports.
Yes.
Okay. Now when I'm talking to you, already we have lost first and second quarter of the farming.
Exactly.
Even Orissa has not done more than 20% stocking. West Bengal has not done. When I'm talking to you in Gujarat has done only 35-40%. So Andhra Pradesh has terribly lost the ongoing crop. So the panic harvest has finished. So now they are going for the second crop. So means first 2 quarters have gone. So another 2 quarters, if we produce 4 lakh ton also, so India will be only producing 50% of the last year.
Exactly.
So we will be losing our 25,000 crore rupees this year itself.
Okay.
So the package should be more on the liquidity side. It should be to the farmers to support.
Yes.
So see, there is no point in giving stimulus to develop the industry in coming 3-4 years. And if I get a chance next year, I will revive myself without anybody's help.
Yes.
See, basically, I'll tell you, the farmers. See, the biggest thing is that I'll tell you, first of all, everybody has to understand the difference between Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat.
Yeah.
See, Jitendra, Andhra Pradesh, the seed price is 35 paisa. The medicine price is almost 40% off. You know the trade and trade link.
Yes.
And the feed price is at least 70, 75. In
Yes.
Gujarat, we get seed price today at a charter flight we are bringing. Our seed price is 70 paisa, almost double. Our electricity, our energy charges are 4 times more.
Yes.
And our feed price is 25 rupees a kilo. When Gujarat farmers has to live up to the India market, see the foreigners will not see cost of production of Andhra or Gujarat. They will see Indian shrimp a single price.
Yes.
So we don't have edge. So today we urge to our fisheries minister of Gujarat, to secretary, कि boss, our cost of production is affected more than almost 70 to 100 rupees a kilo.
Yeah.
That has to be compensated somewhere. Otherwise there will be no shrimp farming. See, Jitendra, everybody who has listened to me, see, this is a very important thing. Nobody understood this. Gujarat was number 2 position up to 2016. So what has made the Gujarat to come down to 5th position? Where Gujarat was number 1 in the world in the productivity. Today 8 lakh ton, whatever India is producing, Gujarat average productivity per hectare is double. Gujarat success is 92% against the 55% of the national. Then what is the point? Gujarat has reduced the production. Because Rupam was reading my profile, so he said I'm the general secretary of the association. But I'm very happy and very proud to tell you, because now the farmers and the dealers, they have made me the association president. I'm now the president of 2,500 crore business called Gujarat Aqua Feed Dealer Association.
Yes.
So we are very working hard how we can become efficient. So I'm telling you, we have reduced the production, but we have increased the size of the shrimp.
Yeah. No, what is my submission is, since you are talking at a different level, make sure that this 20,000 crore have a equal proportionate towards, at least for domestic market as well as for the domestic sector development.
Boss, this domestic market, Jitendra, you didn't listen to me. This domestic market doesn't need 100 or 200 or 3,000 crore. We need one brand ambassador. We need only 10-20 crore rupees to rope in a very good movie star like Amitabh Bachchan or a cricketer. Boss, we don't need 50,000 or 50,000 crore rupees for that.
Yeah, I know, I heard it, but my point is, you make an impression that there is a need to have a expansion of domestic market.
Not leaving any single chance. I'm repeatedly why I'm speaking here. At least somebody will listen to me. I'm not listening. I'm not wasting a single chance. You know, I always post on LinkedIn. I always post on my Facebook. Each and every seminar, each and every webinar, I am directly, even today, if my voice can go to Modi ji, I will tell him, boss, the farmer needs this. Indian shrimp industry needs domestic market.
Okay, there are many people are waiting. I may not ask any more questions. Thank you, Manoj, for elaborate discussion. Hopefully, I will convey the message to many people. Yeah, thank you.
I have one question.
In the meantime, can you take the audience poll question?
Manoj, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Aparna, ma'am, tell me.
I just want to know, you mentioned labor. I just want to know, in your shrimp farming sector and in the processing sector, is the labor largely of the local type or is it the migratory type?
Basically, for farming, those who are working on a farmer depend. But for Gujarat example, I will tell you, ma'am, I have 12,500 ponds. And to everybody's surprise, 10,000 people, they are working from the Raulkela area of Odisha. I'm the biggest employer of Odisha people, because last April, Odisha Foundation Day, the minister has felicitated me because 10,000 Odisha laborers are working. And today I'm on a very proud note. I would like to share when the officers or the local people reached our labor asking them, there is a special train going to Odisha, will you want to go back? The common voice from the labor is that from last 3 months, the Shrimp Farmer Association and our farmers have taken good care of us. They are paying us good salary, good food. So what we are going to go back? We will stay here. And today also, on a note, I will tell, I have also written to the government of India, to Maharashtra, to also our collector, that still our 6,000 ponds require labor. So those laborers who don't find work on farms, they can work on the field, are welcome to come to Gujarat. our association can promise 5,000 people job.
So Manoj, one more thing, just one more thing. We have all contributed 1 day's salary to the PM Care. So you being our alumni and you supporting so many thousands of people, can we make a collection for the labor that you are engaging? Do you want us to contribute in some way to the labor welfare?
Ma'am, thank you so much for the generous offer, but I will tell you on a note, since February, our system works. Now March, we have a lockdown. So 7,000 farms are without seed. Then also our association is taking care of them. 6,000 labor into 8,000 basic salary plus 2,000 food, 10,000. Means every month we are already losing 6 crore rupees. That's the biggest charity our association is doing. When people talk about funding them, ma'am, thanks to the Almighty, the Gujarat Association, we are taking care of this 6,000 labor plus our association almost from 1 month providing food to the migrant, all to the police and the COVID workers. We are providing them masks, sanitizers, even fruit juices because they are really this public. And I'm telling you,
can we have a
COVID has
collection
seen a
for
very
your
good public
association?
and police relation.
Can we have a collection for your association?
Come again, ma'am.
Can we have a collection, a donation for your association?
कौन मना करेगा?
If you want to help to the
मैडम
workers,
कौन मना करेगा?
Because instead of giving to the PM Care, we can help our own sector.
That's
Yes,
a very kind of you, ma'am. Definitely, it will be helpful. Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to say that whatever you are doing, it is for the sector, you are doing for the family of the people who are there. So it is a philanthropist activity also. Your vision is futuristic, strategy is marvelous. So I don't think there is any stopping for you reaching to the highest point wherever you are. I think this is the best thing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, can you take this audience questions? Dr. Manoj, two questions are there from audience polls.
Please, sir.
Do you think that?
Can I ask one question, please?
You want me to? There are many questions, sir. Even in Andhra Pradesh, sir, also. But
No, it is on the screen.
Yeah, I'm checking it. But most of the questions I already answered through the presentation, sir.
No. That is on the audience poll is separate. The first one is: do you think that market price of fish and shrimp will increase post-COVID period?
Oh, that's a very good question. Now I will tell you, sir, one Gujarat example. Gujarat, everybody knows that we have a lot of vegetarian population. This Indian major carp, whatever we produce in Gujarat, and especially the cage farming in now Ukai and other dams, the farmers never got even 85-90 rupees farm gate price. Directors, I'm telling you this.
Listening.
But this COVID last 35 days, yes. I'm getting an overwhelming happiness and promising domestic market. What I'm saying today, can anybody imagine? Though the price which our IMC farmers, Indian major carp farmers, were not able to get 80 rupees at farm, today to your surprise, they are getting 250 to 275 rupees kilo at the farm.
Yes. It's a great
and sir, the 10-gram shrimp, the 12-gram shrimp, the count which cannot be majorly profitable for farmers, 70, 80, 90, 100 count. In Andhra Pradesh is 250 rupees a price, but in Gujarat is already 350.
See, these things are there which nobody can beat.
But sir, for that I'm saying we need an organization. We need this sector
Certainly.
in an organized way.
Certainly, actually, it has to be a sector which is organized, and for that, a leader like you is required.
With everybody's blessing, I will try my levels. But I'm telling farmers. See, for example, one last month I have circulated a video for farmers. Because those who are panicky, what to do, sir, what not to do. But I'm telling you, sir, if anybody, there are almost 500 people who are listening to our seminar, and you might be circulating it on YouTube. Anybody who's listening to me, I'll tell you, I have 200 ponds. And I'm all in. I'm all in. Because the shrimp production will fall down. It is not only India. China is devastated. Ecuador is devastated. So the 45 lakh ton the world shrimp people are producing will at least reduce by 30-35%. So
Sure,
demand and scenario, and sir, there is an upsurge. The online, the retailing has been phenomenally increased in America, and
Yes,
this
yes.
new segment of marketing is going to stay.
It will stay. It will.
I see up to August there will the shrimp prices are going to be very firm, and it will definitely going to be increasing. And this is a very right time. Even the shrimp farmers listening to me never should lose the opportunity to sell into the domestic market.
Yes,
Sacrifice their one pond and start selling it within their 50-kilometer radius.
sure.
Make people habituated of eating. Once, see, my first month of Jingalala, sir, it was only 6,000 per day revenue. And before this COVID, it has reached up to 35,000 a day. And people were loving the cuisine, because there were a lot of notions. Even the educated people, even the doctors think shrimp is with high cholesterol. But they don't know it is with high density lipoprotein. It is the good cholesterol.
Good cholesterol.
So the awareness, see what it takes, sir. On Facebook, you open a page. On LinkedIn, you open a page, or you give advertisement through WhatsApp. It requires hardly few lakhs of rupees to do that. And our association is very generous to contribute to me. So after post-COVID, you will see a big campaign is going to go through Gujarat.
Yes. That has to be the vision. That has to be the vision.
Sir. And it has to be, sir. This is the right time to tap the market.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, we have to see that what are the opportunities out of these calamities. And that way only
sir, you heard me. So you heard me. Our defense, our police, our paramilitary forces kitchen, that can be huge market, sir. Why nobody is tapping that market?
Yes.
See, when mutton, chicken can go, why not shrimp can go there?
Correct.
So hope Modi ji is listening to me. Hope.
It will reach to him certainly.
Hope he is listening to me.
Manoj, one more question. Manoj, suppose that due to this import of broodstock, if post-COVID it is not possible, then whether that fish will take the advantage in the Indian market or Macrovacuum Rosenberg will also take the lead?
To me, sir, now already, Vanami has taken his space, and even the fish has his own orbit. You cannot compare now that people will shift towards more to the fish and living shrimp.
No. If you are not getting broodstock, then what will do? You have to import all the broodstock.
No, I think I am very optimistic. Already, the hatchery association is geared up, and I think there will be a chartered cargo will soon start delivering the broodstock. Maybe another 10-15 days.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Manoj, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a. Sir, if you permit me, I have a suggestion.
Please.
So again, very brief. Please be brief.
Very briefly, I am very much sparked by the deliveries with today. Especially after COVID, it has to be a very aggressive marketing strategy. And the marketing strategy, this is my humble suggestion, has to be led by, earlier the development was led by bureaucracy. Bureaucracy-led development. Now the development, if it shifts towards entrepreneurship-led development, definitely after COVID, especially the food industry is going to pick up. This is my perception. So I request that All India, what Manoj Sharma is saying, we can have a All India association, call it as a Chamber of Commerce, and then under the leadership of persons like Manoj Sharma, and we can give a good fight. So let us take it in that spirit with animal instinct.
I think, sir, it is the need of the hour. We need to have a national federation or shrimp farmers federation or the shrimp producer federation, because we need to raise our voice. And I think that this government is showing very positive signs for aquaculture industry. So one-to-one with Modi ji or the fisheries minister, this our good idea can take the industry to the next level of development.
Next level. And I am very, I am very particular about the food industry. It is going to pick up very fast after this COVID.
Thank you.
So if our association, entrepreneurs association, they become very all India level standard, not regional standard. Definitely regionally people are doing very good work. But if you can find out a all India platform, call it a Chamber of Commerce, and give a good fight.
Yes, sir.
This is
That,
my
that's a
humble
very, very thoughtful idea, sir. It's a very good idea.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Please send your questions if anything is there to
The director